Well, Jim Donnan has been around the block for a while, and he was on Paul Feinbaum the other day. And one thing that Jim had to say was very, interesting, curious, however you want to call it. He was talking about Georgia's ability to develop players. Here's what he had to say directly to Paul. He said, and this is pretty direct: I guarantee you they can develop some players. Yeah, you got that right. Uh, we've seen this over and over again. I mean, whether you're talking about Jordan Davis, Eric Stokes, it just it is becoming pretty obvious that the early criticism by folks for whatever reason of Kirby Smart is proving not to be true. And I know Jim is a big time Georgia homer, but it doesn't mean what he's saying isn't true. One thing that is really important about this is there in the huge landscape that is college football right now, and it is a changing one. Um, Development is still one of, if not the most important things. I mean, when you look at the most money a person can make in college football, still, besides being a coach, is developing yourself for the second contract in the NFL. Well, in order to get the second contract, you got to land the first, which means you got to either get drafted and make a team or be a free agent uh, out of college and make a team like David Andrews. And then the second contract is really where you make life changing money. I mean, real life changing money. And why I say that because, like, you know, $3 million guaranteed money, that is a lot of money. I would take it right now, but that's only going to get you so far in life. Okay. There's a lot of people that in their lifetime they've made $3 million. There's not a lot of people that have made 35 to $40 million. And that's where you really want to get. You can't do that without development. And your most likely path to doing that is going as high as possible in the NFL draft. And the way to do that, of course, is to get developed while you're in college. When you take a look at guys like these I'm about to name, they have the capability, or they did have the capability of being first round NFL drafts. Jordan Davis, Amarius Mims. There's someone signing up for DAWGSTRUCTION. I'm sorry, I have to make sure I acknowledge I am getting in trouble on these books like I'm running out of them. Make sure you're signing up down below. I'll get it out to you the next day if you want it for graduation or for your dad or for your mom. We got a lot of, you know, mom's very excited uh, about DAWGSTRUCTION and seeing the national championship for the dogs. If you want me to sign it, I'll do so. But when you talk about Amarius Mims, Jordan Davis, certainly Devontae Wyatt. I mean, Devontae Wyatt was developed. That's all there is to it. Trey Scott did a great job of not just getting. Devontae is a guy that had to be developed. When I went to go see him at Towers, I think it was in the spring of 17. You'll have to forgive me. I can't exactly remember when it was that Devontae got to Georgia. But it took getting out of Towers, going to Hutchinson Community College, and then getting to Georgia. And in all three of those steps, it was not obvious in any way, I would say, that he would be a first round draft pick. What was obvious is this guy can really run. Like he really can run. And I watched him play against Meadow Creek. It was in the very hot preseason time. And, Meadow Creek is in Gwinnett County, Towers is in DeKalb. So it was this very quiet scrimmage. There were not a lot of people there. These are not football powers. But a first round draft pick was playing that day. It was Devontae Wyatt. He was the best player on the field, no doubt. But he wasn't going to be a first round draft pick for sure. Like if you watched it, it was not obvious like perhaps it would be with, I mean, Andrew Thomas, Amarius Mims. Some people said Jacob Eason. Some people would say, um, you know, AJ Green. I mean, AJ Green, that was pretty obvious, right? Um, That was not the case with him. And that honestly, that was not the case with Jordan Davis either. I mean, the person that looked like a first round draft pick when I watched Jordan Davis play was Zamir White. Okay, Zamir was a hell of a player, and there's reasons why he didn't go in the first round. Two ACLs, running backs don't matter anymore, yada yada yada. But it wasn't even close to the best player was. So you take from that moment and you fast forward 4 or 5 years. Where is that player moving? Are they consistently getting better? Are they dealing with injuries? Are they developing their mind and their body? Are they getting ready for life after football? Are you taking your education seriously? Are you staying out of trouble? There's a lot of stuff you got to do to be successful. Are you buying in, right? There's a lot of stuff you got to do to become successful. Another guy I will say, I mean, I was wrong about Jermaine Johnson. I watched him play. He definitely was not a first round draft pick when I watched him play in Kansas. I mean, he didn't do anything. It was only a half that I got to watch him play, but then he went from there to 2 years at Georgia and an explosive year at Florida State. You can, and that just proves you don't have to do it at Georgia, but you can be an explosive player. You can develop into a first round draft pick. Now, there's only 32 of them, and only so many guys have the capability to really be at that place. But in this coming year, is that going to be the case with Nolan Smith? Is that going to be the case? I mean, I wouldn't see this coming, and I wouldn't bet on it. I mean, is it going to be the case with Robert Beal? I mean, did you see Quay Walker being a first round draft pick? Look, again, Jim Donnan loves Georgia. He is a Georgia homer. I get it. He's also a Hall of Fame coach. He's won a national championship at Marshall. But um, the statement, it doesn't have to come from Jim. It can come from anybody. It just carries a little bit more weight for me from coming from Jim. He said, "I guarantee you, they can develop some players, plural." I mean, I don't know how many first round guys have come from Kirby's time at Georgia. I mean, off the top of my head, very off the top of my head, Isaiah Wilson, Andrew Thomas, Sony. Um, this year, those 5 guys, that's 8 just off the top of my head. I don't know when Stokes went. I think somebody went in the first, somebody went right on top of the second. So that's, not quite 10 guys there. They've had a lot of guys. That first year, they had a 6th round or 5th round draft pick in Isaiah McKenzie, a guy who, just being frank, looked the same at the beginning of his time at Georgia as he did at the end. So Georgia has gotten good at development. Now, you can take that and go sell it. That's something you can take and go sell if you're Kirby and company, because it is the most sustainable path to his second NFL contract, which is what we're all looking for, life-changing money. Hey, thanks for watching. We'll see you over on the website.